ready for Draper Radio.
Hey guys, it's Mr. Blaze.
And Mr. Whipple.
Yes, it's that time of year for our first ever Superbowl podcast.
Super Bowl podcast.
And what better of a guest to have on than Mr. Whipple, football coach, football player. Now, I recall someone getting into the Hall of Fame.
It was, we go by nominations.
Yeah.
And I don't think there was many that year, so.
Okay.
No, I actually have to give a shout out to Kevin Cummings.
Yeah. Yeah.
Kevin did a lot to push, to get my nomination in, and so, yeah, I didn't break any records. I didn't do much other than just play sports.
Yeah. You were a hustler. You played football,
football, basketball,
baseball.
Yep.
Classic Americana.
Yeah.
That's great.
I never thought anything of it growing up. That's just play sports.
Right. That's what you do.
What I found is that not many kids actually played three sports, even back then. So I just played because I liked playing and had fun, and it was one of those things where you look at who plays three sports, and not many people.
No, and it's, I don't know, there was tons. Teams were just loaded when I was playing.
Oh yeah.
High school and stuff, and times are different.
Yeah.
But now too, I don't know about when you played, but now there's travel, everything.
Everything's travel.
You could play, like my son plays soccer, and I grew up in Cohoes, upstate New York, and I had to travel to Waterford, a nearby town, to play travel soccer.
Yep.
We didn't even have it. Now, you play year round.
Oh yeah.
Which is crazy. Imagine that for football, same thing. You can play year round football and.
Yeah, now for football, a lot of high schools are doing 7-on-7. Some flag leagues.
Yeah.
Just keep the kids going.
Right.
Which I think is the best thing. If you're gonna do something, do it as much as you can.
Yeah. Right. And good practice, and keeping that muscle memory there, and so that way, like, there's like no off season, so you're kind of keeping that level up high.
As you know, at our age, it eventually comes to an end.
Right.
These jobs are really hurting our playing abilities.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Keeping. Yeah, standing and all of that.
Yeah.
So having younger kids, at home too, keeps me on my toe. My son's like, "Oh, I'm taller than you." I'm like, "Well, I got you in push-ups still."
Yeah,
I'm holding that right now.
Get on the ground. Let's go.
I'm doing 35, 40 dumbbells. What are you doing?
Yeah.
You there yet? So he's got me in some, and I'm sure I'll meet my demise sooner or later.
Some point.
But I'm gonna hold King of the Mountain for a little while.
As long as you can.
That's it.
As long as you can.
And die trying.
But talking to Super Bowls, when I played in high school, so today, there's a whole playoff system. Like in our division, the A division.
Yeah.
There's two halves of the division.
Okay.
And the top four make, from one division make the playoff versus the bottom four. One plays 4, 2 plays 3.
Okay.
Right, and then the winners play the winners. And back when I played in the 90s, there was no such thing.
No.
So it was just the top winner of each division played each other.
Right. That's like simple, very simple.
And I don't even think after that they didn't have regionals or states.
Nationals.
Like
you could it's with running the same thing. It's just like you have states, you have federations, you have Nike Nationals, you got Reebok, New Balance National. It's a constant. Yeah.
There's a lot. There's a lot. So. Which again, I think is a great thing.
Definitely.
I also think, like anything, it's good in moderation, right?
True.
Right now, I have for my girls' basketball team, the varsity. I got a couple girls that are playing soccer.
Right.
Some of them are going to practice after games. We have a basketball game, and then they're going to soccer practice. or they're playing in tournaments over the weekends, and which is great because they're great soccer players.
Right.
You know, I just worry, like, you know, are their bodies going to start breaking down?
Right.
You know, so.
Yeah. And that's a fine line, you know, like you see a lot of kids wearing, growth plate fractures and wearing the boots.
Yes.
And, you know, like that, when I coached soccer, you know, the one coach I was working along with, he encouraged doing different sports, you know, like taking time off from soccer to do like basketball, do another sport, you know, whatever it is that you like to do, you know, lacrosse.
Yeah.
And, you know, because now it's like becoming like a triathlete. So you're developing different muscles that weren't being used, because like in soccer, you know, like you have a lot of lateral, right? In basketball, you're jumping more. You're not really jumping a lot in soccer as much, you know, it's just like, you know, so just encouraging that diversity, and then it's not like you're not getting the repetitive injuries, you know.
Yeah, that's where kids who specialize in one sport, right? Like you said, they're not using all the different muscles, and they end up getting injured, or you know, something happens.
Right. So it's something to keep in mind.
Yeah, I tell all you know, every kid I see play, you know, football players, go wrestle. If you're not going to play basketball, go wrestle.
Right.
Go, you know, be a swimmer. Do something other than, you know, what your main sport is.
Right.
You know.
And you never know. You might find an interest in it. If anything, it's a good hobby. You know.
Yeah.
I mean, swimming is great because it takes a lot of it's different type of workout.
Oh yeah.
You know, like from running to swimming, because swimming is like low impact. Because I remember when I injured my ankle, I put on one of those floating vests, you know, like on the waist, and I could, you know, get the running muscles there without any pressure. But when you're done swimming, you're
exhausted.
I remember, like, you know, like you probably did, you know, going to a friend's camp, swimming in a lake, river.
Yeah.
I mean, I slept good.
Oh yeah. Yeah, you're burning a lot of calories.
Yeah, you don't realize it.
Water.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, you don't really. That's why I'm very impressed with water polo athletes. I don't think I'd ever play just out of fear, anxiety,
drowning.
Right. I mean, they're all over each other. You got to stay afloat.
It is. I mean, the only close experience I had that when I did a triathlon, I was swimming in the lake. It was Lake Champlain, Plattsburgh.
Yep.
Out a quarter mile, back a quarter mile. So I was swimming out. You keep to one side of the cone, you turn the cone, come back. I was swimming out, and I'm not a fast swimmer. I'm a strong swimmer, so I could swim for a while. Guy was ahead of me, came back around, was coming to me. I'm like, what do I do? I've never encountered. So I literally had to let myself sink.
Yes.
Go under him and then come back around. But it's like it's not like when you're running, playing basketball or football, where you could stop and you know, redirect your body.
No.
Swimming is kind of like a California stop at a stop sign. Yeah, it's like where you roll
through. Yes.
So.
Yeah. You know, speaking of injuries and movements, you know, we're talking about the Superbowl.
Correct.
Right?
What number Super Bowl is it, by the way?
I think this is 58.
58.
Yeah,
okay.
Super Bowl 58, which the first Super Bowl is 1967.
1967, all right.
And, you know, if you look at the history of just the equipment, now think back, they used to wear just leather helmets.
Yeah.
Right? They're talking about injuries.
Like, they didn't have the technology to detect like concussions. Like nowadays, you do tests, scans, you couldn't hook them up to stuff, right?
Yes.
So I couldn't imagine.
I mean, their helmets alone have all kinds of sensors in them that they can, you know, monitor, and you know, guys are getting the play calls through their helmet,
right?
Which is just it's unbelievable.
And it's crazy. I watched an episode. My brother-in-law got me into that. You know, like all the technology, like saying like with the camera, like on the cable camera, and the technology of overlaying, you know, like the first down lines and the yellow line, and hearing the guys talk, you know, like, why is everybody saying green when they, you know, like you're hearing the guys that normally wouldn't hear.
Right.
But it's like, you know, watching a Buffalo game that just passed, how loud it was.
Unbelievable.
But it's like, I mean, they're making it look like a video game.
Yes. Yeah.
Which is really.
Which to me, you know, I told my wife this, if I was to go to a Super Bowl, I would probably get tickets to the Super Bowl, but to a regular NFL game
Yeah.
or watch it on TV, I'll watch it on TV
Yeah.
rather than go. Right? I mean, just the view of the game is so much better.
It's immersive. It's
Yeah.
I mean, 3D used to be a thing with TV, you
Yeah.
know, but it's immersive. Like I know we're having this art exhibit near in town. It's like the Monet immersive experience. Like you're in the game, and that's what they do with the cameras.
Yeah.
Like you're right there. I'm like
Yeah.
I'm hovering. That guy's running, and I'm right with him.
Oh, yeah.
You know, like
Yeah.
if you're in one spot in the stadium, you're limited.
You're
right?
very limited.
If you're in nosebleed, I mean,
And then during commercials,
yeah. What
right,
happens?
teams are just standing there.
You're just standing.
They're just standing in the huddle waiting, and then the ref blows the whistle, they get the signal, all right, let's go play again.
Yeah.
So there's minutes that go by when you're in the stadium, there's a commercial going on, so
Right.
you're watching nothing, right? Where at least on TV, you can go get something at the fridge, you can, do whatever. You don't have to wait in line to go to the bathroom
Or for a snack,
or for a snack, right?
right?
Yeah, hopefully not.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Unless you got like someone like I used to stand on the fridge. I think I broke the fridge at home one time because I was little and I was standing to try to peer into the top
Oh,
shelf.
yeah.
Because I think it was one where the freezer's in the bottom. Maybe in the bottom top. I don't know. I was short and I couldn't see it.
So, yeah,
I stood on it and had that little crack on the bottom. Because you would just like watch it like a TV.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm looking for something good to pop up.
Yeah. Look around.
Where's
What's
the
in there?
condiments at?
Right. So, the Super Bowl is really developed into like a national holiday.
Yeah.
I mean, it's more than just the game,
Right.
right?
And so, weren't some people arguing for that national holiday?
Yeah,
So they could like take the day because it's like Memorial Day.
Yeah.
If it falls on this, you get the following day off or
Right,
something.
right. Yeah,
But yeah, I mean, because it's so big.
yeah. It's the most watched event in sports history,
Right.
or at any event,
Right.
right? Like they just had the Emmys on and the Oscars and
Yeah.
the Academy Award, and that's like not even a fraction of how many people watch the Super Bowl.
Right.
Right, because it's become, like you said, like a holiday. It's a party,
Yeah.
right? People get food. You have people over. There's Super Bowl squares.
Yeah. Oh
right,
yeah.
like what the scores are.
Yep.
And then now the New York State allows people to bet on the games.
Oh, okay.
And there's a million bets. Like, is it going to be even the coin toss? You can bet if it's going to be heads or tails.
You can bet on that now.
Oh yeah.
I,
Yeah, you can bet on heads or tails. You can bet on, how many yards are going to be, on the first drive or the first quarter. And
oh my gosh.
yeah, there's just a million different things.
Well, it's just money.
Who's
Money maker.
gonna catch the first touchdown? Who's going to run for the first touchdown?
Right.
Who's going to score it? Which team? There's so many variables. A math teacher this is a field day for math teachers.
Well, yeah. What a great math assignment.
Yes.
We
And then there's the commercials,
Yeah.
which I think a lot of people just watch a Super Bowl because the commercials are awesome.
Yes. What? Oh my gosh! There was just a commercial. It was. Oh, I forgot who it was. The player that was in it. Oh my gosh, I'm blanking on it now. We were watching the Bills game this
Yep.
past Sunday, and there was a commercial, and it was somebody, a player, I forgot who was throwing the football, and Peppa Pig was right next to him. And Peppa Pig was right next to the player, and they're like, "Oh, see if you can get this far, right?"
Yeah.
And ends up hitting Beavis. Beavis and Butthead were stacking wood,
Yeah.
and Beavis got nailed right in the goodies.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that should have been a Super Bowl commercial.
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
thinking, I'm like, you think about that, but like the cost, right? I
Yeah.
don't even know. It's
Yeah.
like, so it's, I mean, that's where, but they spend so much money on it because they know a lot of people are viewing it. So
Oh yeah.
They know,
I think I don't know how many millions of dollars it is for 30 seconds.
Yeah.
A commercial, but it's worth it because they'll make that back in revenue from people just searching for that company or that product.
Right, and they've gotten smart, like with QR codes.
Yeah.
And pop it up on the screen, and then you take your phone up and hold it up there. And I heard, speaking of codes, that the barcode when you go and scan and buy stuff at the store, that system, I forgot, it's been around, I don't know, 60s, 50s, I forget the year, but it'll looking to replace it with something like a QR code, so you could scan it and get more data from the product, and because it's a very antiquated system. It helps to keep track of, like sales for companies, but the QR code is, you could do whatever you want with a QR code. From the design of it to like the I'm sending a person to the website. Oh, here's you can go to our website, you can get more information, get the health information on it, like my guy at home is, like tree nut allergy, so you could find out all that data. So
just through a QR code.
Then a barcode is just,
Hey, everybody out there in podcast land. This is Mr. Sawicki. Sorry I couldn't make the episode today, but my thanks as always to Mr. Blaze and our co-host guests for holding it down. But I had to call in real quick and say my favorite Super Bowl memories. Obviously, growing up in New York, my dad taught me to be a New York Giants fan, so I always loved the New York Giants when they make the playoffs and Super Bowls. So naturally, the 2008 Super Bowl was amazing, but more importantly, my favorite one ever was the 2012 Super Bowl, where the New York Giants defeated the undefeated New England Patriots. Talk about an epic game. Tom Brady versus Eli Manning. Tons of great passes, running plays, catches. And again, obviously, how can you top a Super Bowl where the Giants defeat an undefeated team? So thanks for all those great memories to the Giants, and we hope that they're going to come back big in the coming years. All right, I'll catch you guys in the next episode. Later.
There we go. Okay, we're good.
Your catch is in there?
Yes. Clark
in Montana.
Montana.
He died this recent. He was my age. He was born like a little more than 2 months before I was born. Sad. Him and Barlow were really good buddies.
Were they?
I didn't even realize it until I read something recently that he was married twice.
Okay.
On his first divorce, his wife took him for everything. He had to actually sell. I heard he had to sell his 5 Super Bowl rings. Enough money to survive after his divorce.
Oh, that's so sad.
I never knew that though. I started looking up, reading things on everybody.
All that was his glory. He had to just pawn off.
Yeah, he was a good guy. But they had a lot of good guys. Like this is Randy Cross. That was outside Philadelphia. That was a Philadelphia game. I got a picture somewhere of the Philadelphia cheerleaders. They're pretty cute. Randy Cross. I got a picture of Randy Cross. He was he played guard and center for the 1980s. And they had a good front line. They didn't have just a good receiver. They had good running backs. They really did a good job of drafting players, picking an offense.
Yeah.
I mentioned they had a great defensive. The backs back then were made. Ronnie Lott's a Hall of Famer.
Ronnie Lott. Yep, I remember.
But so I came back when I was in my late teens.
Okay.
The Niners. I was in high school, and a friend of mine named John Nardini. We got talking, and I told him the Niners thing. He goes, "You're all right." He goes, "My mother is Bill Walsh's wife's cousin." How do you figure that out?
Yeah.
Tom in Rotterdam. His wife is a cousin of somebody from across the country.
Wow. So that's very, very unusual.
So that's where he gave me. His mother went to visit Bill Walsh, and he brought me back this card from Bill Walsh. It says, "Thank you for the good wishes. That it really means something to have your support." That's a dear Joe. That's from Bill Walsh. I'm Bill Walsh.
That
my life would ever thought would have anything
well, right, and it personalized to you, and
I tell you a story about when I was at the Giants. At my friend, I used to get sporting goods 49ers jerseys and hats and stuff from a store called Bob Sports World down for Half Moon, and the owner's name was Bob, and he had season tickets to the Giants.
Okay.
So one day, it was a Sunday, something special event going on in his store. He couldn't go. I had been shopping there the week before. He told me, "I got these 2 tickets to the Giants 49ers game. You'd be interested in them?" Sure.
Yeah.
What do tickets cost nowadays?
Oh my.
It cost me those 2 tickets $10 a piece.
Wow.
Game.
I mean,
Yeah.
you wouldn't even be able. I mean, maybe get some snacks if you're lucky, right? I mean,
So you
so
you can't get a hot dog for $10 nowadays.
Oh my gosh.
So
that is expensive.
I was a probation officer. This friend of mine, Christian Ibel, who was also a probation officer.
Yep.
He went to Shelmont, and I went to Draper. Back then, we were like crosstown rivals. We played football against each other.
Okay.
I remember one time I tackled Curry as a punt returner.
You got him.
Before I even started working with Lion.
Oh.
So, anyways, I invited him to go to the game, and we went to the game. And
Yep.
I'm sitting in the stands in the end zone. All these Giant fans all over the place. And I was the only guy wearing red and gold.
Oh.
And
so you stood out.
I'm a big poster out. I stood out, and this gentleman walks up up the stairs up to where I'm sitting, and he says, "You're crazy. You're pretty. You're brave being up in here."
Right. You're asking.
Everybody is you can name.
Yeah.
It was at the Barlow.
Okay.
A poster of the internet said, "Go Niners" on it, and he signed his name to it.
Wow.
I didn't tell him this, but I told some of my friends later. I said, "I wish I had a blank check. You could have signed." Back then, he had the money they had. I remember he had Joe Montana and Steve Young on the same team as back. Montana's backup quarterback at one point.
Right.
For those guys, that kind of talent.
Oh my gosh, loaded.
I used to go to the Giant. Whenever the Niners played in the area.
Okay.
I was from Philadelphia. One time, I bust on my wife because we're sitting in this stands watching the game, and she's crocheting while I'm watching the game.
Yeah.
Roger Craig was returning a kick back then, and he runs the ball like 90 yards for a touchdown. She's like this. I said, "Did you see what just happened?"
No. Yeah. Not watching it.
They didn't have all that replay substitution.
Well, I know we take it for granted now, having all that, where you had to be present at that time and tuned in.
Yeah. So it's all been played there. It's all played in Giant Stadium. It's all played in Buffalo. New England. That was fun playing in New England.
Oh, good game.
But I'm thinking about my most, like anybody, you ask anybody, it was the most famous moment, not only in the 49ers history, but probably in the NFL history, one of the top 5.
Right.
Is the catch by Dwight Clark.
Okay.
And I clipped all these starting lineup guys.
I love those. Yeah.
Look at Montana, and then when Montana was like 3rd down, and the Niners were like, 10, 7, 8 yard line. And Montana's scrambling around and looking for somebody. And funny, he heaves the ball up, and I think a lot of people thought he was just trying to throw a ball, just get it like they do nowadays. You can't hit anybody. Don't throw an interceptor. Throw a ball away and get one more shot at it. But there's Dwight Clark back in the end zone making that catch.
Oh my!
Beat the Dallas Cowboys in the NFC Championship game in 1980. It was in 1981. The Super Bowl was in 82, but that was September 81. But that was amazing. That was one of my most favorite moments of the Niners history. But I've been a fan ever since.
Okay. And where were you when you watched the game? Do you remember where you were?
I watched that game there. I was actually living in the house I was actually at my home in Boston Lake.
All right. Yeah.
I had a little party there. I invited some of my friends from probation and something were there. I started probation in 1980.
Okay.
I invited this house party and I was watching that with them.
Nice.
And
were they everyone going crazy?
Well, they were going crazy, but there's probably more Cowboys fans because remember that was America's team.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah.
They're the most hated team in football, I think, not by anybody without a Cowboys fan.
Right. Yeah. So again, like in the stadium, like you were the odd man out at your own house with in a sea of Cowboy fans.
Yeah, my wall was decorated all Niner stuff. My fireplace thing had, these guys on it and all other kind of characters on it.
Oh my God.
And I never in my life would have dreamt that I would, just between 1981 and 1994, they won 5 Super Bowls. I can't remember how many Super Bowls they were in, but they won 5. But I was a fan back when it started as a fan when John Brody was actually a quarterback.
So like before the Montana era and Steve
Brody
Young.
He's not even in the Hall of Fame, but he was a Pro Bowl quarterback, and he was in the 49ers Hall of Fame. But he was a great quarterback, but if you look at the numbers, he had more interceptions than he had touchdown passes. I didn't realize that.
Oh my God.
History and stuff.
Oh yeah, so that might be a little deterrent for.
And then back in the 1980s, the Albany County Yankees had a team here at Albany. Mm-hmm. And in that draft Barry Sanders was the number 1 pick of that draft.
Yeah.
The number 2 pick in that draft was Deion Sanders.
Wow.
We ended up playing for 49, but I was in Albany County. I took tickets to Albany County Yankees. Sit in my seats. It's a cold April morning day. They're playing a game.
Okay.
And Deion Sanders is playing for the Yankees, center field. Yeah.
Whoa.
He made this amazing catch in the first inning, and then the bottom of the first inning, he got up, and he ended up getting a inside the park home run.
Oh my goodness!
So
and you're there.
We're watching that game. All of a sudden, I see these guys walking up and they're wearing Atlanta Falcons. I think it was because he was originally a Falcon before he got a Niner.
Okay. Yeah.
Falcons, and they're walking that garb. They're walking up and. Because it was right near the airport, so when you flew in, if you're afraid to go to Heritage Park, it was Heritage Park like that. So I said, are you guys here checking on Deion?
Yeah.
He goes, yeah, why? He goes, oh, you just missed it. He had an inside park home run just now, but before that, he made a diving catch to the outfield.
Oh.
So Barry Sanders got picked first in that draft.
Okay, and then
he got picked second.
And then oh my gosh.
Deion Sanders. And he ended up playing baseball for quite a few years before he went to football.
I did not know that. Yeah. That's really cool. Yeah. And he was not too shabby at it from the sounds.
I should have put the picture at home. They had a Eastern League party.
Okay.
In the area, All-Star game, and so a lot of people had their spouses come and different things. I got a picture of Deion and his wife sitting at their table.
Oh wow! You have some incredible memorabilia. And just chance encounter that you happen to be there when these guys are there.
Yeah,
that is amazing.
And I was one of the guys waiting at the gates all the time, whether it was the Yankees team or the Niners game, whatever.
Yeah.
Stay outside, find out where the players come out to go to the buses or whatever.
Yeah.
Back then it was very different. I think players were a lot more social. I think they didn't charge $100 for an autograph. They would walk up and they just sign. They'd be in the field and they just walk up and give you something. And
simpler times, right?
Simpler times.
Yeah. Well, nowadays, here we are recording a video, and they'll be on YouTube, but. Nowadays, take pictures, social media. I think people are worried sometimes that they don't want to get, put in a bad light, But I think most fans are just, admiring them. And
I never cut the memorabilia for any intention of selling it or making money off of it.
No.
I want to pass it on to my sons.
Yeah.
That's wonderful, great memories. And
because you have some huge sports fans of sons as well.
Oh yes, of course. My oldest son is a Packers fan, so that was an interesting game last week.
Oh my!
We're playing, but the winner goes to the championship. I feel so bad for Taylor Button.
I know, and isn't it funny? Both Mr. Whipple and I were just talking about this yesterday. Both the Packers and the Bills game ended almost identically with that missed kick. Reminds me back. Now refresh my memory. Wasn't there a Bills Super Bowl where they had the infamous missed kick?
Yeah. I was actually, back in the day, we used to go down, travel down where the Super Bowl was, because it was in Atlanta or that was in Tampa.
Okay.
And they were playing the Giants.
Yep.
And we went down to the Super Bowl. And of course, even, like I said, I got tickets for $10 for a Giants game, but Super Bowl still was up there in price.
Oh, right.
Looking back at it now, if I had to pay $200 for a Super Bowl ticket, now it's like $1,000 or $2,000 probably for somebody.
Right.
And I said,
it's ridiculous.
$200 for a ticket, but that was that game. Yeah, wide right. What's the kicker's name for the Bills?
Oh my gosh, that's been.
That came up in the discussion when this happened because wide right.
Yeah.
And a lot of Bills fans traveled from of course it's winter time. They were glad
die hard
down to Tampa for that game. There was usually crowd Bills fans in the stadium, but there was also they used to. I don't know if they still do it enough. They actually used to have the game on a big screen outside the stadium.
Yeah, kind of like SPAC has, our local concert area has the big TVs outside the stadium there.
We were outside watching outside the stadium, and we were going, the Bills were all crazy.
Oh my gosh.
That's almost as who was from the Red Sox maybe booted the ball at third base and they were playing the Mets. Who was that? The first baseman.
I can't remember.
With his legs. That's almost the same
almost embarrassment because those are high pressure stakes when there's seconds to go, and you know the team, if they get the opposite team, if they get the ball, there's not going to be a chance anyway. If you make that kick, you know it's good. I mean, everything you've ever practiced comes down to that 5 seconds or 10 seconds it takes to kick that ball.
I can't imagine being I went to position. I could never imagine what.
No.
Coming in a situation where so much involved in that, the snap.
Yeah. Yeah.
Are you lining up right? Could you turn your foot too much?
Right. Well, right. Like I play soccer, and if your leg crosses over the other leg, then the ball's going to go that direction. So keeping your leg in line, the angle of your foot, the power. If you slip, there's no redo.
How you're playing with the wind, because the wind was blowing in that direction. So they said that that was one reason. You almost had to try to kick it to the left. The wind was blowing.
Right. To compensate for that, right? I mean,
they didn't miss that much. Right next to the.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh my God.
Here we go this week.
I know.
One more win. They need one more win to get to the next game, and then after that.
I know. So
on the way. I mean, it's great they made it to the final, but still, you want to at least make it to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And then you want to try to win it, but.
Yeah, so what was the last year they were in? The 49ers were in the Super Bowl.
No, they lost to Kansas City. What was that year?
Oh, was that just?
That was probably 3-4 years ago.
That was recent. So they might have another. They got the Lions that are there, which is amazing. So if you had to pick one all-time player, favorite player, hands down, no doubt, of the 49ers, who's your guy?
I can't.
It's
Joe Montana.
Joe Montana.
I love Jerry Rice, but
me too.
Joe Montana at college. Think about it. The way I think about it, watching him when he was in Notre Dame.
Yeah.
I see Brock Purdy, and almost like you see the twins.
Yeah.
Really, Joe Montana wasn't a speedster.
No.
He was how to operate out of the pocket or in the pocket.
Right.
He made smart throws. He did throw. He threw the ball very smart. Made some great plays.
Oh.
And he ran the team. He was, he not only just the throwing guy. He knew how to run the team. He was a good captain of that team, and everybody respected him like that. That's the way he was.
Boy, you just echo. That's exactly it. It's exactly what Mr. Whipple and I were talking about. How Tom Brady left the Patriots, and they say, was the team we're being led by Bill Belichick or Tom Brady, and how having a good quarterback who is not just a solid performer on the field, but also off the field, motivating them. And I think that makes the key to success. We talked about, Bledsoe for, Tom Brady. You had Brett Favre for Aaron Rodgers. Now you have Jordan Love. So that constant, and you see how well the Packers played, even though they're young bucks out there. But having a good quarterback on and off the field, I think that's the key. Outside of good coaching, is the key to a strong team.
The Packers. I remember when Bart Starr was their quarterback.
Yeah.
And that big play against Dallas, they've done it 13 inches, 13 seconds, 13 inches with Jerry Kramer through that block, and he got in the end zone. Now my son Taylor is a Packers fan, but it's a funny story, but another Niners story. And back when he was a little kid, sorry.
No, it's okay.
Good. I was going to say, remember they used to sell those, you could buy children's size uniform and helmets on them. So I ordered, I had this booklet, and in front of it, Brett Favre, on the front of that booklet.
Okay.
Well, I ordered him a 49ers uniform, helmet, the whole thing.
Oh my God.
So it's en route, it's being delivered. Oh. And also my son Taylor walked up to me with the book in his hand. He goes, I want that one. I want him.
Oh.
The Niners one. He won the Packers one.
Oh.
I'm not going to say the Lions Packers fan forever.
Well, yeah. What's your man? I think you have to be invested. I did switch. I tell you, I did switch. I was Packers myself, and then I kind of was following. I liked Rodgers.
Yeah.
And I really liked him a lot. And Mr. Whipple was said he had listened to a podcast where they talked about him and how he seems like a solid guy. And I was kind of switching to the Jets. So I don't know. It's tough. It's hard to like lock in. I don't want to be be a bandwagon guy. But if you like a player, sometimes if you follow the player. But I don't know. That's a whole other discussion, I think.
The Niners were always my team because I just, like I said, when they had Steve Young as a backup. That was
what a good backup.
The only bummer to me is when the year that Joe Montana went to the Chiefs because they were going to. Back then, I think when they is that when they instituted salary cap or something, and they couldn't afford to keep both of them on the team.
Well, and think about like the caliber of both those guys.
Steve Young, I remember one time in a game where he ran a ball like 80 yards for a touchdown down the left sideline.
Yeah, not many quarterbacks like to run. I mean, and run and don't do the slide.
Right.
I mean, like Aaron Rodgers, he runs like a tight end. He just goes for it. Guys that are built like tanks and can take a hit and keep going.
And those are some great games. I still back in those days. I remember watching the Bears and the Packers. All that play that team that division was so tough. Back when those days did 48 domes on it.
Well, you're playing with
New Orleans. It was the first dome, wasn't it? New Orleans.
I think so. Yeah.
It was all their domes. I mean, you played in Minnesota, and it was freezing cold out. And it was snowing out and blizzards sometimes.
Right. Yeah.
Or Buffalo.
Buffalo. I mean, look. Remember this past couple weekends ago. Remember the game was canceled, rescheduled, and then they end up having to
hire people to sell those.
Yeah, and you got guys in classic Buffalo, attire. He's shirtless, going down a snowshoe in the middle of the stadium.
That's how we did the Bills game. That's what it is. I've been to those Bills games. You see these guys with the letters written on their chest.
They're just a different breed.
Breed of people.
Buffalo,
though, when you play in Buffalo, I'll tell you, I went to see the Bills play the Packers one time.
Yeah.
I was a Packers fan, so things a little kid, he was okay. They weren't going to kill a little kid.
Right.
He was a Packers fan, all these Bills fans. But
right, they're like, we'll cut him some slack until he turns 18, and then it's game on.
It was like, I remember when we were in November one time, we're sitting, it's early November, and we're watching a game, and they're playing the Cardinals. And all of a sudden, we looked over toward Lake Erie, and I'm saying, what the heck is going on over there?
Yeah.
I can't see anything anymore over there.
Right.
There's a blizzard coming up the lake.
Oh, yeah, the lake effect, out there.
And the Cardinals punter pumped the ball and then went backward behind us. We're still on. But the Bills, then they were having a tailgate party in the parking lot. And caught fire because the fire got blown. The flame got blown.
Oh, my gosh.
The trailer caught fire. My wife and I was back. My wife went to the game with me that time. She was brave. We drove home. We tried to drive home. We finally, in about Rochester, just pulled off the road and been there to a rest area and stayed overnight.
Wow.
It was that bad. But then,
oh my gosh!
Once you have that circuit, it's like nothing.
It's like a wall. Yeah, it's like we go.
Hey, this is Mr. Mullens, and we're talking about Super Bowl stuff today. And I'd like to start off by asking you, it's kind of like a very loaded generic sort of question, but your favorite part of the Super Bowl. You can answer it however you see fit.
So my favorite part of the Super Bowl is easily just the game itself. It's always there's not been many boring Super Bowls of late, so it's always like right down to the wire.
Yeah.
Every play matters. So there's no boring parts of the game itself. The entertainment part it's all right, but I like just watching the game. Usually, rooting for a team to win or rooting against a team, which is always fun to do as well. But just the game itself.
Excellent. Yeah, I think it's sometimes fun being like rooting for the underdog. So saying like your team didn't make it.
Yeah.
Like, did your team make it this year?
No, not even close.
No, same.
So.
What is your team?
I'm a Giants fan. Giants fan. Yeah.
Well, I think I might be a step below. I'm a Jets fan.
Oh.
So with the whole Aaron Rodgers debacle, that kind of.
Yeah, that seems so long ago. Yeah, that was I think week 1. I think it was, and then that never. Yeah, that was a quarterback issue.
Just toasted right away, but he was still very vocal on the sideline.
Oh, very vocal. Yeah, I've seen the social media stuff.
Good, not so good. But Now, here, what about your favorite Super Bowl memory or like game in general? What's your favorite one that just stands out to you?
Oh man, there's a lot. I mean, I remember the first Super Bowl I watched was Super Bowl 36. The Patriots beat the Rams on a last-second field goal to win. But I'm a big Giants fan, so can't go without talking about Super Bowl 42.
Right.
That was I think that was 17 years ago or 16 years ago now. Eli Manning was underdog. No one really expected much from him, and lived in his brother's shadow.
Right.
He engineered the really great playoff run. They beat the Cowboys, the 1 seed. They beat the Packers, who were the 2 seed. They played the undefeated Patriots, and that wasn't. They played the Patriots really well at the end of the season, but that was kind of a tune-up. So you never know what's going to happen. They won a touchdown with 35 seconds left to go. So right down to the wire. Yeah, nail biter ended the undefeated season. Ended Tom Brady's season, which is always great. I'm not a big Tom Brady guy.
I know, like people I think are in the love to hate bandwagon.
I saw the Patriots win a few Super Bowls. I never liked the Patriots. I don't like Boston teams, and having my team, the Giants, actually be the one to beat them, that means a lot. And especially Eli Manning, who was the underdog, and no one thought much of him, and he proved a lot of people wrong. So
nothing better than that, too.
Yeah, he was the underdog right there, Eli Manning himself.
Yeah.
So
yeah, you hope sometimes the underdog, because I think it's good to have a big team like the Patriots lose.
Oh yeah,
just to kind of let you know you're vulnerable too, and,
right?
And also to give all the fans of the opposing team, the Giants in your case, a reason to cheer.
Yeah, no, the same team wins over and over again. It gets a little dull. It gets a little boring. So it's good to have the younger or the smaller upstart teams pull it out.
Yeah. Oh, it's so great. Love it. I don't know, maybe I was really rooting for the Lions.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I can imagine that.
Oh, and they had it.
They were they were up. I think they were up big in the first half and fell apart.
Over 2 touchdowns.
Yeah.
And then I think the inexperience got to them. But I think what's exciting is knowing that how awesome they did this year and how they're going to come back. And same with the Packers too. Yeah,
because the Packers didn't expect much from them, and they had such a young team and new quarterback or an inexperienced quarterback, and did a wonderful job. And they had, they were pretty close themselves.
Yeah.
So
I mean, they're forced to be reckoned. I mean, because they're young and they just got lots of drive. So it's exciting, So to see that. Now, you already answered one of my third question here. It's more about your favorite team and or player. So we know team now is the Giants.
Yeah. Favorite player. I mean, Eli Manning was one of my favorites. He retired about 5 years ago. I really love watching Patrick Mahomes. I know it's a very I know it's a pretty popular answer, but he's one of the greatest quarterbacks I've ever watched. I have so much fun watching him. He's mobile, throws the ball very well, throws it deep, throws good slants. He does everything, and he's very good head in his shoulders. Seems to nothing seems to rattle him. Yeah. He got injured in last year's Super Bowl and didn't look very good, but he kept playing and they pulled it out in the end. So
yeah, I mean, again, he might. You see him being the next Brady?
Personally, I think he's more talented than Brady. I mean, Brady wasn't very mobile, and it's a different game now. Quarterbacks are running a lot more.
Yeah.
But obviously, Brady's accomplishments are pretty high up, and he's not there yet.
Right. Yeah, he's super young. I mean, but with the advent of social media, I mean, how many times do you see Patrick Mahomes when you watch the TV?
Yeah. He's all over the airwaves. So.
Yeah.
But he seems like he doesn't really get to his head. I know he's some interesting family members. His wife and his brother are very, very noticeable on social media. He seems to keep a low profile as well as someone can in that position.
Well, right. I mean, you're just in the spotlight. It's hard. I mean, it kind of comes with the territory, right?
Yeah, it does.
It's bittersweet because some people like their privacy. I know, speaking of talking about the Chiefs and with Taylor Swift, we can't not talk about the Chiefs and not mention her, right?
Right.
Because I've seen millions more people watch the Chiefs games because of her.
Yeah.
And that's saying a lot because a lot of people, millions already watched.
Yeah.
But that sort of power. But yeah, I've heard that she's a very private person.
Is she?
Despite that, she's not.
Well, yeah, I guess that would check out.
Personal life. I mean, it's like when you get to the status of being
that crazy. Like some people say she's got too much power, but like what it's a fine line of what is personal life and what is celebrity life, right?
Yeah, of course.
I mean that they must be like kind of walking that tightrope. But I think it's humbling to hear that even with that level that you still it's how important it is. It's human nature to want to have some you time.
Yeah.
I want to go and get like some like really good snack, and I don't want to talk about why I'm going to get the snack at the store.
Yeah.
I'm just a human.
I can't imagine being a celebrity just everywhere you go. Like I see pictures, like videos, like Lionel Messi walking around, and people are following him, and I think I just want to live my life and not be bothered.
Oh,
but he's great about it. He seems to always with people and take pictures.
Yeah.
But I can't imagine being a Taylor Swift, him. Just you gotta like really, really have a good disguise or something.
Seriously, you gotta.
Or DoorDash.
Yeah, DoorDash that, right?
Yeah, I mean they have the money for it. So.
And have like a stage name that you use.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I have like the whole like fake nose and glasses going around.
Right. Yeah. You remember like the old like you just slide on the glasses.
Yep, exactly. Maybe we're like a fedora or something.
Oh man, I love that. One final question. Speaking of snacks. Now again, this is probably the hardest question I'm going to ask is your favorite. Okay, we got a spread of whatever you want: Super Bowl snacks, chicken wings. We got chips, cookies. What's your must-have
for a Super Bowl party? Man. To narrow it down, I think I would go with it. Like my taste changes every week. It'll change. Yeah. So right now I'm going to go with buffalo wings. Probably I'll go medium. I mean, hot's good. If I'm alone, hot's fine. But around a lot of people, I feel like you need to tone it down a little bit. So
it has to be like a crowd. It's so funny. We do that. We do Friday night pizza at my house.
Yeah.
And my son, older son, not quite mild. Sometimes even mild, he'll say, "Dad, these are real spicy."
Oh, really?
So his threshold. But meanwhile, my daughter is like my wife. She's got my wife ever since she was young, like middle school age. She had like a craving for like hot. She would always ask, "Oh, I'll get the hot one." She's always so when we order wings. Well, we choose the hot. So it's funny you say that. So you got to know your crowd. Right?
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, like sometimes I can handle a lot of hot, and sometimes it's like I'm sweating and like nose is running.
Yeah.
And but it's all worth it in the end, though. It does taste always good.
It is. Well, especially having if you're sick, right? I mean, just kind of clear out the sinuses. And
yeah, when you get a cold, order some wings. I mean, win-win.
Yeah.
Right.
I heard like hot stuff, and I heard garlic is good.
Garlic. I love garlic too, so I'm down for some wings and garlic bread if I'm not feeling well.
Yeah. So I'm like, I like that. It's not medicinal. It's like more of like a homeopathic sort of recipe. So excellent. Now, who are you going for, rooting for in this Super Bowl?
So we have the Chiefs and we have the 49ers. For me, it's pretty easy to pick the Chiefs because I like the whole I know there are probably some Patriots fans watching or Brady fans watching, but I love the whole restlessness they get when Mahomes wins another Super Bowl because he has 2 already, a couple MVPs. But the 49ers have some very likable guys in their team. I saw a video the other day of a wide receiver in the 49ers. He got a player to come over and take a picture with his sister at I think cerebral palsy.
Okay, yeah.
And it was just such a sweet thing, and I seen all these people were saying nice things about the guy on the 49ers, and there's someone else in the 49ers who seems like a really, really good guy. I forget who it is, but it seems like they're a really great group, both talented teams. They could go either way. I think the Chiefs will pull it out, but it'll be a good. They're never really boring. Last boring game, Super Bowl, I can think it was like the Seahawks trounced the Broncos. There was a one recently where Patriots beat the Rams 13-3. It was like the worst Super Bowl I've ever watched. That was 5 years ago. This one, I think this will be good.
I'm hoping that this one will be good. I'd like to see. The Chiefs had 1, the 49ers had 1, but I don't know. I'm not on the Chief bandwagon, and I just want to see whoever's not the Chiefs.
That's okay. I mean, I felt that way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was hoping for the Lions to get in there, and they didn't. So I'm like, all right, 49ers. And the Chiefs, I mean, both games could have gone either way.
Yeah.
It really was so I was really surprised with the Ravens and how they played. But I mean, they played like ridiculously hard all season. They had games when they beat like Miami by like 30 or 40 points.
Yeah, I think that sounds about right.
Like decimating them. So I was looking for that, and I didn't see that.
The Ravens have they'll show up at the postseason, they'll do well, but they'll still miss the mark. And I don't know, like I'm not gonna lie, I wasn't really convinced with them until I just see them make it the Super Bowl to believe that they were legit, and they didn't do it. So maybe next year.
Yeah.
Sooner or later, if they keep it up, they'll get over that hump.
Yeah,
but,
I agree.
Yeah,
I agree. Awesome. Well, thank you, sir, for coming in and joining us on this like impromptu podcast video. So,
thank you. I love talking about sports.
Yeah.
Baseball, football, soccer, basketball. Yeah.
Excellent.
I'm there.
Well, when we get some, definitely, I think we're long overdue for like a good soccer one. So. I
know I have a little soccer experience.
Yeah,
so.
Same. I love it. So I think we'll have to chalk that up for a future episode.
I'm down for it. Just let me know time and date. I'll be here.
Excellent.
All right.
Take care. Thanks for joining us, Mr.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.